a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time, time.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's tea time. That's right. And we're a little late today. A little bit of technology issues. Of course, Miss Liz always has that. But we are here. And today we have an incredible guest joining us all the way from Israel. That's right, Israel. And she's going to be sharing her TEA with us today and her incredible movement. So be sure to grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab anything that you'd like to join, and leave your comments, questions, and all that in the comment section, and I will pull those up during the show. Now we will do the disclaimer, and then I will do a little intro on Effy and a little bit on Mothers Learn How to Identify. So a little bit about the disclaimer. So disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live shows. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forward dialogue and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participation are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussion for some where it may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about this disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in today's show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you feel that this show is not made for you at this time, I will see you at a later show at a later time. So now let me get my incredible guest in here all the way from Israel, Effy Fadida. I think I said it right. Welcome, Effy. Fadida. I'm going to learn some new languages as I'm going with these tea times. Today I'm going to learn a little bit of Hebrew, I think. So, Effy, I'm going to let you introduce yourself since we're running a little late, and anybody who would like to know more on Effy as an individual, check out Miss Liz's Facebook page. And if you miss anything, Effy, I will bring it up as you were sharing. And I'm just going to jump in and get some links and get all of that fixed. And the floor is all yours. So I'll let you take over.
So, as you said, my name is Effy Fadida. I'm a lawyer and a social entrepreneur and founder of a movement, social movement called All Women Unite. And what we do is social projects to enhance and empower women in different aspects. We created a Memorial Day for the victims, the women victims of violence against women. And it happens a year on February 2nd, all across the country of Israel. And some Israelis also do the Memorial Day in different countries around the world. Also, ambassadors of Israel around the world are sharing this day. And the purpose of this Memorial Day is to actually raise awareness that murder of women, just because they're being women, is just a very spreading disease, I would say, across the world. And in Israel alone, there are 20 women murdered in average every year, and most of the time by their spouses. And this year, we're not even at the end of the year, and already 14 women have been murdered. Some of them are murdered by their sons, their husbands, their families. And it's not cultural thing. It's just it can happen to anyone. And I know that in countries around the world, this phenomena is also spreading. So this is one of our projects. Another project that we have is called Something from the Gut. It's a photo and poem competition for women artists, and the purpose is to enhance women creative aspects of women. And we have we have 62 women that are the winners of this competition every year, and then there's a show around that is traveling around Israel in different cities around Israel. And we also produce a very nice book with the photos and the poems that of the winners of the competition. So that's some of the projects that we're doing this year.
So a little bit about Effy. We had a little glitch, so I was just getting links in that while she was sharing. So I do have the links back in, so you can see that she has a Facebook page here. She also has an Instagram page and a website. So we'll pull those up as she's sharing more on. But today I have Effy on here because we want to talk about the movement that you have going on called Mothers Learn How to Identify. So a little bit about mothers who learn how to identify. How did it start, and what is the meaning behind it, and what is your goal for that movement?
Okay, so first of all, mothers learn to identify. They're learning to identify sexual abuse in children. And I began this project because, at least in Israel, the statistics are very worrying. And the statistics that I studied say that only 6% of all children that are sexually abused are being treated and are being reported to the police. And out of the 6%, which is so low, out of the 6%, 80% are reported after 10 years.
Wow.
So a child that has been molested or sexually abused when he was 5 will only report, if he reports, he'll report at the age of 15. So for 10 years, there's so many children that are walking around with nobody knows that they've been molested, that they've been sexually abused. And what I tried to understand is why it takes so long and why are the statistics so low. And what I realized is that mothers don't know how to identify if their children have been sexually abused. And even though it's even worse than that, because we don't even want to know, not because we're bad mothers, but because it's so horrible to even think that our child has been hurt, that we prefer to think it's anything else but that. So we would rather have him have like problems in school, or think it's something else, somebody's bullying him or whatever, but not think that he was hurt. And the other thing is that we have organizations here in Israel, and I think around the world, that do like lectures in schools or for parents. But the problem is that the mothers don't come to the lectures, because if I come to a lecture like that, first of all, it's such a sad subject. It's not, I'm so scared of it. I don't want to find out anything about it. So I won't come because of that. And the other thing is, what would it say about me if I come to a lecture like that? Maybe something happened to my children. What will other people say about me? So even though they have these lectures, not a lot of parents show to the lecture itself. So I was trying to kind of try to solve this problem. And I've been conducting women's circles for over 20 years, and every month. And I understood that the method of a women's circle could be a good solution to this problem. And what I wanted to create is communities of mothers from all over the country. And in each city, we'll have a community of mothers learn to identify. And the mothers will come for a social gathering of like a woman's circle. And they will learn how to identify, how to be a more attentive parent, how to speak to the child in order to find out if something happened. And because it's a social gathering, it's more likely to happen, and it's more likely that mothers will come. And we also kind of we did like in our marketing, we used different like eyes with hearts to kind of show that it's not a subject we need to be scared of, to kind of make it a little less scary to speak about. And what we're going to do with this project, we actually are going to have community managers throughout the country. We're going out with a pilot of 12 different cities in Israel. They're going to go, the community managers are going to have this 6 months training where they're going to learn how to build the community, how to conduct the meetings, and how to create the community, and also how to connect with the municipal offices in the city, and to make all the connections so everybody is connected and no child is falling in between the cracks and is being treated and actually observed and found, and if something happens, we would know about it. So that's the project, and we're very excited about it. I've been building this thing for 2 years now, and I'm very excited that it's actually coming to fruition this October. In a month, they're going to have less than a month. They're going to start the course for the community managers. We have a great team of 12 excited and enthusiastic women that are going to lead this in their community.
So, Effie, are we doing this world, like, are you starting in Israel, or are you having training worldwide? Like, how's that going to work?
We are going to start the pilot in Israel
Okay.
and see how it goes. It's going to be in 12 cities, as I said. The cities are different kinds of cities with different kinds of population. Some are more religious, some are more not religious, different kinds. And
Yeah.
we're going to see how it works. And then after this pilot, we're hoping that the government is going to fund this and think that this is a really good solution to actually reach out into the community and find out the kids that nobody knows about what happened to them, and treat them and heal them. And we also know the statistics say that kids that have been molested or abused when they were little, they grow up to be very they're not very healthy adults. They have all kinds of problems with sometimes they're bulimic, they're depressed, they tend to want to commit suicide. They're very hard for them to function like a normal person and find work. And we're trying to actually identify as early as we can, close to the incident, so we can try to minimize the effects of what happened on the child, and give them treatment so they can grow up to be a healthy, normal living life adult. And I'm saying child, it's for girls and boys at the age of 0 to 12, the age that we are talking about. It's almost the same statistics for boys and girls. So it's not like only girls are going through this. Many little boys are also being attacked and hurt. So
Well, we really want to bring that out as well for awareness, right? That boys are affected by this as well.
yes.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Effie. Now, you created these glasses that you have people taking pictures of. I do have a pair of glasses here because they were sent to me
So do
all the way
I.
from
So do I.
Israel. So we're going to put these glasses on, and I want you to explain they're going to sit on top of my other glasses.
Yeah, you
Explain
could put them on.
what the meaning of the glasses are and
Okay.
what they stand for.
So first of all, we try to kind of lighten up a little bit the subject and make it a little cool so people would want to relate to it, what mothers would want to relate to it. So we got a lot of celebrities taking pictures with these glasses. The meaning of the glasses is that we as mothers are looking at our children with kind of like heart-shaped pink glasses. We think that everything is okay. We want to hope everything, we're very optimistic. We want to hope that everything is going on very well in their lives. And the project is offering an opportunity to take off the glasses for a second and look what is really happening in the child's life and be attentive to their needs and what happened to them. And if everything is okay and nothing wrong happened, we can put up the glasses again and be all happy and optimistic. But if something happened, then we want to know about it and we want to treat it and we want to know all the information and how to change what happened and help the child heal from any attempt or anything that happened with the sexual abuse. So that's the meaning of the glasses. We're trying to get 100,000 people to take pictures with the glasses. We have children, we have older people, we have all kinds of celebrities taking pictures of with the glasses, and we really wish that it would spread throughout the world and spread a message that. Parents, not only mothers, but parents need to be attentive to what is happening with their children. We're so overworked with everything that is happening in our adult life that sometimes we are so much into our phone, for instance, and our social media and whatever we are doing and our work and everybody else, and we are missing a lot of signs and a lot of signals that the child is trying to tell us. And we also did another thing. I don't know if you have the link, but I'll be happy that if you post it. We created a drawing of the signs. It's not, we don't talk about signs because some children don't show signs when they were hurt,
Hmm.
but we are uh, talking about the principles of how a parent could be attentive and find out if something happened to the child. So we have like this diagram of a drawing of four women, and they're like the monkeys in the three monkeys, but we have four women, and one is like looking, holding her ears. She needs to listen to what is happening with the child. One is talking. It's a sign of you want to talk to the child and see what is going on, be interested in what is happening in their lives. One is support, so she has like an arm on the other woman's shoulder to show support, and the other one is just to be attentive to the environment and the people, the crowd that the child is hanging around in. And sometimes we can get a lot of information from the people that are spending a lot of time with the child, um, people that he keeps talking about, maybe different gifts that he gets all of a sudden, and we want to find out where they came from and different things like that. And our being alert is the key to find out if something happened to our child, and we can and the other key is to know the information that where to go if I suspect that something happened, who can I talk to. Sometimes even a doctor or dentist can help um, find out if something wrong happened to the child, but also teachers in the school, counselors, and people that are spending time, maybe close friends. They're
Yeah.
spending time with the child.
Well, I'll have to get that link from you after. I don't have that link, Effie, but
Okay.
send it to me and I will put that out there for you as well.
Okay, great.
So if anybody wanted to get these glasses so that they could help with the movement of getting awareness out there, how can they get a pair of glasses?
Well, they can write me and I'll send them by mail.
Okay.
And they can write me on Messenger and through the Facebook page or Instagram, DM me. And we are having, which we started this thing where we say pass it on, like the movie. So if you get the glasses, what we ask you is after you take a picture and post it and tag us, Mothers Learn to Identify, um, give it to another person and tell them to take a picture and tag us and so on. So we'll spread the glasses. Don't keep them to yourself. Spread them on so people, more and more people, can take a picture with them from all over the world. That would be awesome. And something very cool happened to us that one of the celebrities in Israel had an interview in the newspaper about her being 30. It was her 30th birthday, and the picture in the newspaper was her with the glasses.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't even know. And somebody sent it to me, and it was amazing that I don't know if she even knows the meaning of the glasses, but it was in the paper, and it was very amazing. And also another thing that we did when we did a campaign to raise money for the project. Actually, if you wanna support us, that would be great. I'll give you a link where you can donate if you want. A little advertising. Um, but when we did the campaign, we got football players, soccer players, a whole team of soccer players, and the other team to get on the field with the glasses, and we took pictures of them. Just imagine all the soccer players with the glasses on, and in the broadcast in the beginning of the game, they talked about the project and about Mothers Learn to Identify, to raise awareness, because men also need to be aware of this problem, and it's not only for women, it's not only for mothers, also fathers. But we are a women organization, so so this is our field of expertise. But I'm very looking forward for demand of Fathers Learn to Identify. So if men want me to do a project like that, I will be thrilled to do that with men as well.
Well, I love that you brought up the fathers who can identify as well, because it's not only mothers out there, there are fathers out there that are not seeing the signs because they believe everything is hunky dory, or they're not home, they're traveling, they're working, so they don't see things. But when they are home, maybe they can see and identify if they know the signs, if they, and I really believe that word of mouth goes really far. And I love that you have this pass it on with the glasses, because one pair of glasses could get 100,000 people. We just keep passing and passing and passing, and we can actually open some doors with some awareness of just a pair of glasses. And before the show, we were talking about a song called "The Rose Colored Glasses," where it blinds us from what's happening on in life, right? Sometimes we got to take those glasses off and we have to look at the hard stuff and the topics that we don't want to talk about, like today's show. So, Effy, you have always been a social activist, from what I'm gathering, and from what I've seen in your bio. What has it been about the activist lifestyle that has really drawn you into it?
What I really like to do is to create projects that are groundbreaking, that have never been done before, that even though my ideas don't seem to be so out there or very technological or whatever, but many times, even something like creating a memorial day for women who were murdered because of violence against women. Sometimes something like that can go so far, and when I started, for instance, this project of the Memorial Day, um, nobody wanted to talk about this subject. I tried to get the press to talk about it, and one of the radio anchors told me, listen, this subject, we already talked about it so many times. It's an old thing. We don't want to talk about it anymore. But if you bring me a woman from the Arab society that is now being threatened by her husband and to interview her, then I will do it. so so I told him, why don't we just have a murder on like live? Because if a woman like that will talk on the radio, next day she won't be alive.
Yeah.
She won't survive. And it was so amazing to me how he didn't understand the meaning of what he was asking, and all he could see was like the rating and just to have an interesting interview, and he didn't understand that it's this woman's life that is at
Exactly.
stake when she goes on a radio like that. And that was when I started, and we made a huge change in this subject in Israel. And I'm not taking credit for everything that other people have done, but this Memorial Day has started more and more things and riots and different things that, not riots, but uh, um, campaigns and different uh, um, people will come out in the streets and with signs and try to change this. And the awareness to the subject went from zero, from a topic that nobody talks about, to a topic that now is every day on the news. Now, a lot of things happened in Israel. A lot of very influential women were murdered in the past few years. So that really it helped
Yeah.
to raise the awareness. I wouldn't want them to lose their life for it, but because of that, a lot of projects and a lot of things have happened. So for me to be somebody who sprouted the seed to start this is huge, and I wanted to make a big change, and in the subject of sexual harassment and sexual molestation in the kids. It's something that I can't live with. And when I find a subject that I'm saying to myself, I can't live in this world knowing that this phenomena is happening and I'm not doing anything about it. And so even if I can do this project and something, I will save even one child's life, it would be so huge and so meaningful for me. And also with the Memorial Day, we have ceremonies and memorial ceremonies around the country. We bring the families of the murder victims, and they talk about their children, their daughters, and their stories, and it brings a lot of healing. And another thing we talk about is the red lights that we need to know about in order to not get involved in a very poisonous relationship, or to know that we are in maybe we're in a relationship that is very hazardous to us. And we talk about this, and then in the meetings and in this memorial services, these women come to support the subject, and all of a sudden they hear the red lights that we're talking about, and they understand that they are in a um, violent relationship, and they didn't even think that violence could be emotional, it could be financial. And I keep telling this story about I went to my manicurist, and she told me, oh, this woman that was just before you, she was here yesterday, and I did her nails, and I painted her nails red, and she was so happy, and she went home so happy. And today she came back, and she asked me to change it to pink, to light pink, because her husband doesn't allow her to have red fingernails. And it seems like it's such a small thing. It's not, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. So he doesn't like red, but it's not that, because a violent relationship is a control issue. And the man, he thinks that the woman is his property. And he starts with the little things of not painting the fingernails or what she's wearing, and then he says she can't see her friends and she can't see her family, and she can't go to work, and it's a control issue. And when you understand that you need to put boundaries and and stop at the fingernails and
Yep.
stop and so that can save you, because it's the little things that build and escalate the relationship. And the more control you give him, the more you say to yourself, oh, I'm not gonna fight with him about such as, about my dress. I don't want to ruin the relationship. I'll just change and wear something else. The more you do that, the more you give in to the violence, and it ends up with hitting, and it ends up with some of the times with murder. So
Well, I noticed that you do a lot of sign awareness, and I appreciate all the signs that you're giving out, because as a survivor of domestic violence myself, that it is the little things. They start with the little things, they nick, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then
yeah,
eventually someone says, "Well, I didn't see those signs
yeah,
because you
it's
didn't pay
true.
attention," and
You didn't want to see most of the time.
yeah,
It's the same glasses. It's the same pink glasses that we put up in a relationship, and we want to believe that he loves us, that it's a romantic thing, and it's not like we were meant. We are trained to believe that it's so romantic when somebody's so jealous for you, and so and doesn't want you to see anyone. He wants you all to himself, and you think, wow, he loves me so much. But that's a very, very poisonous sign, because when he wants you all to himself, he won't let you do anything, and he can lock you in the house, so he will have you like his toy all to himself.
yeah,
And another one of this of another one, it's not a sign but something. There was a murder in Israel of this woman. Everybody was shocked from that she was murdered. She was a counselor, a marriage counselor. She had 15,000 women followers. She would give advice on relationships, and she was like a guru of relationship. And her husband, that she kept talking about how he's amazing and their great relationship, um, one day, I'm sorry about the graphics, he tied up the children together and he murdered her in front of them. And her murder was so shocking to the whole women community because it was so unexpected. And after and nobody knew that she had problems. She kept, because she was a relationship guru,
yep.
she didn't want to tell anybody that she is having problems herself. And after this happened, we gathered together a lot of women organization leaders, and we tried to figure out what is the one message that we can send out to women to try and save them, to try and help them, um, and kind of like stop the next murder from happening.
Yep.
And the message that we got, it was everybody agreed on that our message would be, don't break up alone. Don't try to end the relationship when you're alone, without any help, without any support. Share it with friends, share it with family, tell people what is happening. Because when you want to break up the relationship, this is when you are in most danger. This is when the husband or the spouse or whatever, he will be most threatened that he's going to lose you. And this is when he is going to be most violent and going to want to stop you and even murder you. So never break up a relationship alone. Always tell friends, get counseling, try to get a support of your family, and maybe women's organizations. Cry for help
Yeah.
before you do it, because if you get help, you can prevent a very bad thing from happening to you. And that was our message. But it was a unanimous vote from all the women's organizations in Israel, and I think it's a worldwide
Yeah.
message to all women who go through domestic violence. And
Yeah. Well, Effie, and I like that you brought that up, that it is worldwide, because, and this is why Tea Time is global, because the issues are not just in one country, they are worldwide. Abuse is worldwide. Mental health is worldwide. You know, children with no education is worldwide. It is not just one country. And this is why Tea Time needs to be global. And this is why we have to have guests from around the globe so that we can bring awareness, because there are incredible movements and projects like Effy's that mothers learn how to identify, that need to come into Canada, that need to come into the United States, that need to be worldwide, you know. And this is why we serve these teas, and we serve strong, hard teas. So for the viewers and listeners out there that do tune into Tea Time and watch the replays and the live shows, I really do appreciate you tuning in for the hard topics, because that's what we do, is we serve hard, strong tea here. We do have a couple comments that are coming in that I want to bring up, Effy, so that you can see. They've been putting them up as we've been having a conversation, and they're coming in from Twitch. So I would really like to show them to you and get your feedback from some of the comments. So I'll read them out to you, and then you can reply to them. So I believe they're coming all from the same person. So for a young child, it is difficult for them to understand what such kind of harassments are. I can understand why it goes such lengths without a report.
yeah, they don't
I come from
understand what happened to them. They don't
no.
understand that it's wrong. And sometimes it's so horrible to think about. But sometimes it's the parents. Sometimes it's the father. There's also cases of mothers molesting their children, grandfathers. It could be the people that they trust the most, so they don't understand that it's happening or that it's bad. Um,
Exactly.
I have one story that I was told from one that shocked me. So I don't know if I should tell it, but um,
Well, I'm
I don't
just
know
going to
what.
finish up with these comments that are
Okay,
coming in,
yeah, okay,
and then we'll get that. And then of course, this is your time, this is your tea time, and we want to share those stories, because we want to
okay,
get those stories out there. And for the listeners and viewers, please be notified that today's tea time is a trigger. If it is triggering you, please, I will not be offended if you feel that you need to tune out because it's too much and it's too heavy. But if it is good for you and it does bring awareness and it does help one person, that's all we're trying to do here, is save one person's life at a time. Then tune
that's
in
true.
and please share this tea time out there so we can get this awareness out there. So I do believe they are coming from the same person, Effy. So she continues to say, I come from a family where such abuse did not take place. It can be easy to forget that not everyone is as lucky as I was. And that
That's
is true. Not every family is full of abuse, but there are people that live with abuse. The
Yeah,
next comment she put was, I have noticed as the cultural changes have occurred and more women are being labeled as Karens, it has opened the door to increase abuse. We are tolerating things we shouldn't be because we don't want to be labeled with a stigma. And if anyone doesn't know what a Karen is someone that is overreacting and causing
yeah,
trauma and drama and that. But you know, some of these Karens that are out there, I support them because they are actually bringing awareness as well to some topics, but some of them are a little over the top. So I want you to share the story that you were talking about before I read out the
okay. So
comments.
this story is totally a trigger. So if anybody has been abused as a child or has gone through abuse, please don't listen now, because I don't want to hurt anybody. But the story shocked me so much because there was it's how things get how people find out that the child has been abused. And this girl was spending time with her father and his friend, and her friend was the father's friend's daughter, and they went on this farm where there were horses, and the horses were actually having sex. uh, and the girl said to her girlfriend, she said, "Oh, this is what me and grandfather are doing," when she
Wow.
saw the horses. And the fathers were far away; they didn't hear it. But her friend went and she told the counselor at school, and she told the parents, and that's how they found out what the grandfather was doing to the child. So, so it's so hard to even conceive for a woman, for a mother, that her father is doing this to her daughter. That it's no wonder that nobody wants to talk about it. These things are so horrifying, and they're so hard to comprehend, and we don't want to believe that people can do such things to children. And we want to believe that our world is full of good people and that nothing bad would ever happen to our children. But unfortunately, um, the bad is out there. It's out there, and we need to prevent this by teaching our children what to be aware of, and to speak to us, and to be attentive to what they're speaking about, and who is spending time with them, and what is going on with them, in order to save them and to save their health, and treat them as close as possible if an
Yeah.
incident like that happens.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that story up, Effie, because for me growing up, it was family danger, not stranger danger. And we do so much awareness on stranger danger, but we don't do enough awareness on family danger. The incest that is going on in families, children that are being victimized by family members like grandfathers and grandmothers and aunts and uncles and all that. Um, and this is something that I speak strongly on because I am a survivor of incest. My family was my danger. It wasn't the outside world, it was the inside world. So we need to really bring awareness. And by having mothers identify the signs and fathers identify the signs, we can save a child's life by saying, you know what you're doing is not right. You might be my wife, you might be my husband, you might be my aunt or my uncle or my grandfather. What you're doing to my child is not right. And we can remove these people from these children's lives, and we can
Yeah.
save these children. And you had mentioned when you first started sharing, Effie, about the age of 15. Do you know why it's the age of 15 that kids feel comfortable coming forward?
It's not the age of 15, it's 10 years after it
Okay.
happened. So it could be 18 if it happened at age 10, at age 9. But what the statistics say, that only after 10 years, the children are speaking about it. Sometimes they don't speak about it ever. I was speaking to a woman and telling her about this project, and she told me, I have to tell you my story. She's 35, and she was going through a divorce. So she went to a therapist, and the therapist started to talk to her, and all of a sudden she started having visions of something in her mind that she didn't even wasn't aware. And in this therapy sessions, she found out that she was molested. She was sexually abused by her male nanny, when she was 4 years old. They lived in some kind of African country. The parents were always at work, and the nanny, the this guy that was supposed to take care of her, was hurting her all the time. And there is a mechanism in our brain that kind of pushes this information away, or what happens away. So we become two people. Um, the person that was hurt and the person that lives the regular normal life. And so for 30 years, she didn't even know that this happened to her. And she found out on, all of a sudden at this later age, and now she wants to get treatment for this. So, and it makes her understand a lot of things about how she lived her life and whatever happened to her, and her feelings. So people, and this is not only women. When I talk to men, older men, like 40, 50, some guy is like 40 years old. When I told him about this project, he said, "This is what happened to me. I was hurt and my mom didn't know, and my mom didn't do anything about it. She didn't even suspect that something happened." So it's a huge secret, and kids don't talk about it. And what in my studies, I also talk to about a lot of people who treat kids that have been hurt, and they say that that the assaulter, I don't know,
The abuser.
person, the abuser, yeah, thanks. The abuser, he can act in two ways. One is threats, like if you tell anybody what happened, I will kill you, I will harm you, I will harm your family, I will say that you're crazy, whatever. But the other way is more dangerous, because the other way is, let's keep it our little secret. We have this special love between us. Nobody would know about it. This would be our own little secret. Don't tell it anybody, because it's our little secret. It's just between the two of us. And the child feels he has this special connection with this person, and he wants to keep the secret, and he doesn't tell. So that's the reason why they one is like really, really strong fear of death, fear of something that really bad is going to happen to me. So I'm not going to say anything. And the other one is another is something, if you convince yourself that this is good, this is the best thing that ever happened to you, it's a great secret, this is the essence of the relationship, of the friendship, and you want to keep it, and you're afraid that this good friend is going to go away, and so you don't say anything.
Yeah. So we have a couple more comments coming in from the same person
Okay.
again. So I'm just going to bring those up so you can see those.
Okay.
So it says, Effie's made good points. It's such good things to occur in my family. I would have never considered grandparents could be the cause. I would never have even suspected it. And that's so true, because grandparents are the first people that people will say, no, your grandparents are just older. They didn't mean to touch you there. They might, their hands might have slipped. There's so many different reasonings behind, or people that just want to put those colored glasses on and they just don't want to see the real truth because it actually hurts them. So, and another good point that this viewer is making is an incorrect accusation of abuse can cause great damage to an individual. What should be done if there is a suspicion of abuse, but you are not certain if it has occurred? So what would you say about that one?
Yeah, this is more of the law here, that actually we are very scared to put words in the child's mouth, because when the police is investigating if something happened, and they have suspicion that the parents actually told the kid what happened and not let the child speak for himself, it can ruin the whole case. So you can go to the family doctor, you can talk to the teachers, you can go to a dentist. A dentist can identify if something has been put in the child's mouth and caused damage. Sometimes in the sexual organs or the rectal area, or you can first get an opinion from a doctor before you go further. And a doctor will also most of the time know and help you and tell you what to do. there's different organizations. There's hotlines, I think, throughout the globe. Hotlines you can call and ask and get support and also get information on what to do and who to call in your specific country. I know in Israel there's hotlines for religious people, for gay people, for children, for adults, for women, for men. There's so many helplines that you can call and they'll have the information. And also the social services in your city might be a good place to go. And before you do anything, if you even suspect, try to connect somebody and get advice on how to act. Because if you make a mistake in this area, you can actually ruin the chance to do something and punish the abuser.
Yeah,
Um, and it's very difficult. If we were talking about the family, if it's in the family, it's very, very difficult.
it is.
And in Israel, the statistics are that 80% of the abuse is from people that the child knows personally. So it can be a teacher, it could be a mother, a father, a grandfather, it could be a close friend in school, it could be a neighbor. So a lot of the cases are people that are close to the child, and there's it's more rare. It's funny because in the movies we always see this really villain, this really bad guy that nobody knows, and he's attacking us, and it's coming out of nowhere. Who it is and whatever, but uh, in life there's very few
Yeah.
cases, at least in Israel, that the abuser is a stranger, a complete stranger. So there's like maybe 6%. It's like a serviceman that comes to the house to fix something, and maybe 3% somebody that you walk on the street and attacks you. And the statistics are really bad because if it's somebody from my family, it can ruin my family, and I will have to divorce my husband because he is abusing the children, or I can't talk to my father, or I put my father in jail. This is this is horrible.
Yeah.
We can't even think about it. So this is why the adults also are keeping secret and are not talking and hoping this will go away. And in connection to the women getting murdered and violence against women, not all women are strong enough to face their molesting husbands or their fathers or whatever. And this is why I think this community can help women be empowered and get the support that they need to be strong and deal with this, and give them the information and the help they need in order to save their children.
Yeah.
So sometimes the mother is being abused. She has violence against her, and then also the husband is molesting the kids, and so this could be a
It's a vicious.
very
It's a
difficult
vicious cycle,
situation.
right? The
What?
cycle is vicious. The cycle is vicious, and the patterns and the generational cycles. Because sometimes a mother is being abused, so she doesn't see the abuse that's happening to her child because she's focusing on her abuse. And saying, well, you know what, I'm the one that's getting hurt. There's nobody else in the family getting hurt. They're only coming at me. They're not going to hurt this one. Or a sibling will say, well, it was only my sister that got hurt, but it might be the whole family that got hurt, but they just want to brush it off and say, you know what, no, let's just have one person say it happened. And then 10 or 20 years later, you have like the brother or the sister coming out and saying, you know where where they say, you know what, it happened to me too. And
Yeah.
you always have that afterwards, or you have that sibling that will break the ice, and then cousins will come out and say, well, it happened to me too. Grandpa did it to me too. Uncle did it to me too. Auntie did it to me too. And I do really want to bring awareness out that it is males and females that are being abused. It's not just females, but this movement right now is for mothers. So again, mothers learn to identify. So please check out Effy and her movement. And if you're in Cornwall and you would like to wear these glasses, I'm going to pass them on. We're going to get some pictures out there. We're going to get some services. We're going to get some people that are going to wear these glasses and get this movement really moving, Effy, for you. Okay, but before we wrap up your tea time, I want to get to know what your tea is. And I think your tea is going to be a strong tea because you are a strong woman and you do make a difference. So if you'd like to share with the listeners and viewers, what is your tea?
Okay, so the tea is for truth. And I really believe that the truth will set you free. And truth is everybody, each one with their own truth, and go with your own truth with your heart. So that's important. The E for me is entrepreneurship. I really believe in creating new things in the world, in bringing your special gifts to the world in new and exciting ways. And I would say that the A is awesomeness because I really think that everybody, each person is so awesome and so amazing in just surviving in this life and doing whatever they do in their life to create for themselves and for others. And I want to tell if to anybody that is listening and watching this, you are awesome, and just keep this in mind all the time, because I think it's the key to a really empowering life.
And we have another comment from this viewer, and I really want to thank you for tuning in today and sharing your comments, because it does take courage to share during topics like this. So Effy, thank you for this interview. This has been very good information, and it has gotten me thinking about it. So that is what that's just why we do tea time. Exactly. This is what we do tea time for, because we want people to say, you know what, I never thought of it. I never seen it. Maybe I might have opened my eyes to something. So if anybody would like to reach you, Effy, how could they reach you?
As I said, through Instagram, we have an Instagram page called Mothers Learn to Identify. Mothers Learn How in the Instagram. You can find me at Effy Fadida in Facebook. That's the easiest way, and just write me by messenger, and I'm sure to respond. We're happy to connect with all of you. And I'll share my final vision is that my big vision, that this is what I want to do for the world, is I want to create a worldwide women's movement that will help women support each other and connect to each other with the slogan that all women unite. Because this is really what I believe in, that we need to unite in order to make changes about the things that are really important for all the women in the world, not only for us, but for many women in so many subjects. And each one of us, if we stick together and if we create this strong women's movement, we can actually support and change the lives of many women around the world. So I hope in a few years I will come to Tea Time and tell you, hey, listen, remember I told you that? It happened. And
well, my goal is to get to Israel, because I want to thank Galit Grosser. I want to put a shout out to Galit, because without Galit introducing me to you, Effy, I would not know about this project. And I really want to thank Galit for doing that for me, because she's an incredible woman.
Her name is Galit.
Galit. I have to, my Hebrew, my tongue needs to roll, right? So Galit, I really want to thank you for connecting me with Effy. And Effy, thank you so much for joining me today on Tea Time and sharing this movement and incredible. And I do want to bring you back. So at the end of the year, I do a reunion show, and I would love to have you back so you could share more on the movement. And because you're starting in October, I'd love to hear how that goes as well. So let's stay connected and let's really push this movement out there. And for anybody that is listening, if you would like to know more on Effy, you can find all of her information on Miss Liz's Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, And I believe it's on my Instagram page as well. Also, if you'd like to know more, you can check out in the description box of this video. All of her information will be there as well. The donation link will be there for you to help. And the link that she spoke about earlier about the 4 women. So I will put that up there as well so you can check all of that out. And again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in and listening to Tea Time. And we will be back at 3 o'clock. So in a couple hours, I will have a second show. And we will be talking with Dr. Marianne Fodaro, who is a trauma survivor. So again, today's shows are very heavy. So if they are triggering, I will respect you if you choose to tune out. But if you choose to tune in and you can save a life, share these tea times and let's make a difference together. And we will make a difference one cup of tea at a time. So again, thank you, Effy. And let's stay connected. And we will talk very soon. So don't leave. I will talk to you after the show.
Okay. Bye, everybody.